2.3.27, for the given function, find f composed with g of x and g composed with f of x and the domain of each. Okay, so f composed with g of x is f of g of x. And then g of x is, in this case, square root of x. So we're going to plug square root of x into the f function, which is 8x plus 1. We're going to plug the square root of x in for the x and simplify it. Well, that doesn't simplify. So we just get that. And the domain, remember the domain for square roots, the radicand has to be greater than or equal to 0. So since it's just x, right, then the domain's 0 to infinity. Okay, and then if we flip it around, g composed with f of x, by definition is g of f of x. F of x is the 8x plus 1. And then g of x is the square root of x. We're going to plug in the 8x plus 1 for the x. Right? We can drop those parentheses. And that's it. It doesn't simplify. So, and then the domain for this is the radicand. 8x plus 1 has to be greater than or equal to 0. And we solve it. And then divide by 8. So x has to be greater than or equal to negative 1/8. So our domain is negative 1/8 to infinity. So 8 square root of x. Make sure you hit that right arrow, plus 1. Okay, then the other way around, it was square root of 8x plus 1. Domain of f composed with g, that one was from 0 to infinity. Okay, and then the other one was negative 1/8, and we're including the endpoint, the 0, and the negative 1/8. So we're using brackets on the open one, brackets on the beginning point, infinity.